Today's notes are on what is the modern classroom. So let's talk about this. You've heard me say modern classroom a bunch now. Well, a modern classroom is a self-paced structure where every student gets the opportunity to learn at their own pace. This allows you to gain some ownership in your learning as well as develop skills to be a self-directed learner. It allows us to do more blended learning activities because I will be creating teacher videos that you'll have access to throughout the entire year, and it will allow for both individual and small group instruction during class. We also will have a focus on mastery-based grading with a focus on learning and then demonstrating mastery. Revisions and retakes will be a regular occurrence in our class as well as reflection of our learning process. So why would we use this framework? Well, it's student focused, and when it's student focused, students are more bought into the activities. It allows for feedback. I can give you better feedback individually one-on-one with this type of model. It allows me to differentiate so every student can be challenged at the way that they need to be challenged and be able to learn the way that they need to learn. And it allows for mastery of content instead of just completion. So what does the modern classroom structure look like? Well, first of all, you're going to hear us use these three letters a lot, NTK. What that stands for is need to know. This is all of the information you need to know in biology this year. And they're going to be organized into a Google slide deck where it's going to tell you what you need to do in order to be successful and learn this concept. So every NTK that we do will start with a blue must-do activity. You'll notice that there's a little F on here. This means that I will be providing feedback along the way. These activities that we must do in order to learn might include notes that have a picture of me on the front, just like this one, guided reading with questions along the way, interactive Google Slides and vocabulary practice, as well as an online textbook. These activities will not be graded, however, they must be completed before you're allowed to do your learning check. After you complete those must-do slides, you'll have an opportunity for a formative assessment where I will be giving feedback again. The self-check is accessible through Google Form. You just simply click the link, make sure you're logged in with your fcpsschools.net email account, and answer the questions as followed. When you finish, it will show you your score as well as what the correct and incorrect answers are with feedback as well. These assignments will not be graded. This is going to be an opportunity for you to reflect on your learning process. For example, if you score less than a 3.0, which is equivalent to a B, it means you're probably not ready for a learning check with your teacher. You should probably go back and do the purple should do slides, which are extra opportunities for you to learn. These should do slides will be provided with feedback. They will not be graded. It might be Quizlet vocabulary review, maybe a short mini lesson provided by someone else. It also might be a small lesson with more reading to help. It also might be a conference with the teacher. These assignments are extra review and can be done by any student at any time. However, if you score above a 3.0, that means you're probably ready for your mastery check. You can go ahead and do your learning check with your teacher, or if you want to do the extra practice before you do your learning check, you're more than welcome to do that too. The choice is yours. Your mastery check or learning check is composed of 3 questions, an easy, a medium, and hard question that are related to the concept you just learned. This is going to help me as a teacher figure out if you have learned that concept. This is the assignment that will be graded and will be put in your classwork category of the grade book. Retakes and revisions are allowed at any point throughout the entire year on this, even if you score a 3 or higher. You can see we generally have a novice or easy question to start, followed by a slightly more difficult question, a medium, and then some sort of writing explanation, harder question on the back. You have to score a 3 or higher to be able to move on. If you score below a 3, I will ask you to go back and complete some more learning activities before you come back and retake your mastery check or your learning check. You cannot move on to the next NTK until you have completed a 3 or B higher on your learning check. After you've done that, you have the ability to move on to the next NTK. You also have the ability to move on to the unit apply it if it's applicable to your, if they've been posted for the unit already. These apply it's are going to be more lab activities, possibly Gizmo online simulations, or claim evidence reasoning, CER explanation type application assignments. These assignments will be graded. However, revisions will be allowed on these as well. These will fall under the lab category in your grading materials. So, a lot of information. How do I know if I'm on pace if this is a self-paced class? Well, every student will be given a calendar. That calendar will tell you the on-pace schedule as well as when the unit test is. Your goal is to finish all of your NTKs by the time of the test. Some students will take longer on specific NTKs than others, which is why we allow the self-pacing. You'll be given this calendar both in Schoology and in a unit packet. Your unit packet will have all the notes as well as the calendar for you. If a student is behind pace, they're going to be having conferences with me to create a plan to get caught up. You should be using your third period advisory time and flex time to come, as well as the rotating learning seminars to get caught up. You can complete it as homework to get caught up as well if you're behind, or schedule a time after school to work with me. If you're ahead of pace, there are plenty of opportunities for you to continue your learning as well. You can go ahead to the next NTK if it's available. You can work on unit aim for it or apply it that will be given out. You can peer tutor your colleagues if you'd like, or with permission, you're welcome to work on another class assignment or read a book. Here are some icons in our class that we're going to be using. This little puzzle piece right here means we're going to be doing notes with paper with the application Edpuzzle. You use your FCPS login to get into this. A piece of paper means it's a worksheet. You need to collect it around the room. Schoology S, the assignment can be found in Schoology. If it's a lab that requires the lab stations, they'll see a picture of the desk. You'll see completed in class as well as a Quizlet button. And this big one right here, reflect on your process. This means I really want you to think about what you've been doing to learn so far. Are you on the right track, or do you maybe need to change it up? Some other things around the room that we'll really need is, where do I pick up all paper materials? At the back of the room where you pick up the bell ringer every day, there's a blue bin that is labeled 1, 2, 3, 4 for each of the NTKs. Inside each NTK are folders for the different types of activities that we might be doing that require papers. At the front of the room, there's a giant inbox labeled with each period. You're going to turn in all paper assignments in here that are to be graded or that you'd like feedback on. Mastery checks or learning checks are going to be completed at the back table. You will ask the teacher for whichever mastery check or learning check that you need, and you'll complete it here. You will hand that learning check back to your teacher when you're done. And if you have any questions about this or anything in class, please just ask me. What I'd like you to do on the bottom half of your notes is to think and then summarize. Write a 1 to 2 sentence summary including the terms learning and modern classroom in your summary. You have to use those bolded words when you write your summary. After that, I would like you to think of at least one question that you still have and write it at the bottom of your notes.